Hi, I'm Fanny, and today I want to talk to you about two books. It is the second and third book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and it's the Court of Mist and Fury and Court of Wings and Ruin. Yes, I do have to look every time I try to say those names because I will mix them up and confuse them. There is a fourth book called A Court of something in Starlight? Frost and Starlight? See, I have to look at it. And I haven't read that one yet, but I think I have it on hold at the library, so I'll go pick that up in a little bit. The second book in the series is very relationship-centric because it explores the importance of understanding the difference between obsession and love, kind of, and that even a good relationship or a relationship that starts out good can actually turn toxic or even abusive if the needs of both people as they change over time are not taken into consideration or handled well by the other person in that relationship, or the other people if you were polyamorous or something. There's in the third book, there is also the whole mating bonds thing where the animal attraction of two people is kind of almost explained, but they also say in both in the second book that just because two people are very attracted to each other, it doesn't mean that they're compatible emotionally, so it might not actually be the best relationship for both of them, and instead, like, the animal attraction thing is sort of misleading, or it might be just because it would produce the strongest offspring or something, but it doesn't mean that the people are actually compatible emotionally. So I really like that she brought that up, because a lot of relationships that are destructive come from this, like, people are really attracted to each other but they don't work together. And maybe the other way around, some really great relationships where people aren't as attracted to each other in that animal way. Let's just call it that. And then you have the exploration of the corruption of religious institutions, honestly, and religious figures or religious leaders, and how they can easily become corrupt by the power that they wield, and then sort of, yeah, they look after their own interests instead of the whole society. And obviously that's very destructive and is something that should be combated by anyone who can, really. One of the characters, the Bone Carver, which is actually some kind of ancient god being that's held in a prison, he turns out to be one of my favorite characters. He's really creepy, but he's good. I like him. Or good. I don't know if he can be called a good character. Yeah, he's an awesome character, but he's not maybe morally good always. Yeah, fascinating thing. I do like Fair, yeah, whatever her name is, or how you pronounce it. She becomes rather badass when she finally gets over her mental blockages that sort of make her not access her powers, and when she finally gets to use them and learn how to handle them. Since she has a little bit of all the types of magic, she's not the strongest with all of them, like the leaders of the separate courts. But she, the mix that she has makes her very powerful, because she can, I don't want to spoil anything, but she can combine them, and that makes her very powerful. Then we have her sisters, which I kind of love-hate what was done to her family, because since they were turned into, her sisters were turned into fae, they handle it very differently. And obviously there are situations for both the sisters that complicate the matter, and I really like how the dynamic sort of develops, because and they are forced to handle things that they hadn't previously really talked about or brought up. And the most difficult sister turns out to be the one who actually bonds almost more with her, with Fair. So yeah, that is an interesting dynamic shift, because basically they're forced to work together for a while, and then sort of things come to the surface. And yeah, I like how they have to work things out. It turns out that keeping the sort of peaceful Fae city in the Night Court a secret that had been kept for centuries was a good idea, because as soon as it's revealed, they're betrayed and then attacked. So that's not great, but it also shows that the Night Court isn't this evil conclave that they were made out to be, and was a mask that they upheld, which also fits very well with the mental powers, the manipulation powers that the Lord of the Night Court possesses, Rysand. And obviously he teaches Fair how to mitigate or protect herself against mental attacks, and how also to sort of sneak past mental blockages or that kind of thing, which is very important because everyone is trying to manipulate everyone. I also like what they did with, what's that fox guy from the Autumn Court called? Names are hard, but I like him. He's trying to be loyal to both the Lord of the Spring Court, where Fair first lived, and he befriended her, but then he doesn't protect her when that relationship starts to deteriorate or become really bad for her, and claiming to then be her friend while also not helping her in any way when she begs him to is kind of so they also have things to work out, and I like how they do that over time. And he is yeah, he's a friend, he's a resource, and he's not like, for a while he's treated kind of like a tag-along, like he can't do anything, but he really is powerful. And then there are interesting twists in his history too, or his family history, that I really enjoy and I want them to explore in the next one, and I suspect that's gonna happen. I really want to know what's gonna happen with her other sister, who doesn't take the Fate transformation very well, because she was engaged to be married to a human man. So yeah, that complicates her relationship a little bit. Yeah, I'm very curious about how that's gonna be handled. And then, yeah, I don't really know. A lot of it obviously builds on the previous books, and I think she does that really well, and none of the books feels like just transport from one book to the next. They build on each other, but you sort of also, they have their own storylines. The whole tattoo thing of the Night Court is an interesting twist, because all allegiances and any promises made or vows, they show up on the skin of the person, and you might not know exactly what they mean, but it means like you can see that there have been deals struck between different beings in that court. So that's a fascinating thing. Yeah, Rysand does that to her in the first book too. Like, he gives her this tattoo sleeve basically that helps him monitor her feelings, because he knows already then that they have a mating bond, but she doesn't know it yet, and like, he wants to keep her safe and protected, and she thinks it's the Lord of the Night Court that does all the protective stuff, but it's not actually him that does it. So yeah, that's really cool. I think that they show it as something like, oh, it was done against her will, which kind of it was at that time, but then she understands later on. That sounds really bad, but it's not. Like, he gave it to her to help her. And then the evil king that's after the cauldron that does all the things. I like that it's a cauldron, actually. Makes me think of Terran and the Cauldron, which is actually a story by Alexander Dumas, I think, and I really like that one. I read it. No, Alexander Lloyd. Lloyd Alexander? Names! I read that a long time ago. I love it, and I love the Disney version too, which is a very underestimated story. Fantasy book. Yeah, very good. Anyway, sorry about the tangent. The cauldron, which the evil king tries to get a hold of and tear down the wall, which is separating the Fae and human kingdoms. He's very annoying. Anyway, he confuses the bond that is the mating bond, and that bond that was created from the tattoo sleeve that he gave her. So they I think that's kind of interesting, because he's evil because he can't feel the same range of emotions as other people. So he can't understand, he can't empathize, and therefore he can't differentiate between love and an agreement, and therefore he severs the wrong thing, or the mating bond can't really be severed anyway, but he thinks that it can because it's something he can sever, and then it just sort of removes that direct line of communication and leaves them with a little bit more faint line of communication, but they still have it. I'm trying not to be spoilery. I don't think I've mentioned any like special events or anything. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place today, and I just wanted to talk about these books because I think they're really good. I would give them, I don't know, ratings are hard. Maybe A Court of Mist and Fury. That handles a lot of recovery from trauma, which is a very good thing to explore and sort of give people that type of fiction. So yeah, I'd give that one a 4 at least, and Wings and Ruin is really good too, because it handles like politics and how complicated that is, and also that corruption of the church thing. So I don't know, that one gets a 4 too. Yeah, they both get a 4. 4's for everyone. Okay, thank you so much for watching my rambly review. I will be back with another video pretty soon. I don't know what, but you'll know about it if you subscribe. Please like and share this with your bookish friends, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!